former teen mom unintentionally embarrassing herself in a recent social media video is Kailyn Lowry. In a recent clip from the audio podcast, Coffee Convos, uploaded to TikTok, Kailyn inexplicably stopped hosting to eat a panera salad. Sitting in front of her podcast microphone, 31-year-old Kailyn was carrying a bowl of Panera's Southwest chicken Caesar salad. She was starving, so she begged her co-host and listeners to bear with her as she finished her meal. Lindsay Chrisley, 33, a former cast member of Chrisley Knows Best, admitted to co-hosting that her lunch looked so good and that she now needed one since the former MTV star made it look so good. Before telling Lindsay that she was going to be chewing and would therefore mute herself, Kailyn insisted that Lindsay needed to get one. Kailyn decided to let Lindsay take over while she went for a meal break. Kailyn had intended to turn off her microphone, but it never happened. The sound of Kailyn eating and shaking her salad bowl was captured in the recording because she failed to fully silence her microphone. Lindsay said, "Kailyn, you never muted so we can see you and hear you." While recording their podcast episodes, the two screen record their video chat. "Awesome. Let me eat this really quick, and you, Lindsay, should go order one while I'm chewing. You'll thank me later," Kailyn shot back, trying to downplay the awkward incident. Kailyn is expressing something startling on the podcast, if she isn't just making a fool of herself. In a July episode, Lindsay mentioned that Kailyn had told her an amazing story in the past and asked for further information. "We just discussed this earlier in the show, so I must have missed this anecdote. You did not remove the tampon for 2 weeks?" she queries. In reply, Kailyn doesn't hold anything back, saying, "Yeah, and then I went to the doctor and when he pulled it out I'm scarred for life." "Yes," Lindsay retorted in jest. "All right, this is really so disgusting that I'm afraid of tampons." Lately, Kailyn has been revealing a lot of significant information. She recently talked candidly about her biggest regrets after filming the MTV series. In May, the Pennsylvanian quit the show after over 10 years. Many significant occasions in Kailyn's life were seen to fans on television, although she acknowledges there are some that she would have preferred to keep private. "My biggest filming regret." Early in July, the podcast host joked on Twitter, "My kids just told me I said on live T that they could have an iguana when Isaac is 10 and now he's 12 and they want to hold me accountable." Isaac, Kailyn's preteen kid, is shared with her former partner Joe Rivera. She also has 2 sons, Lux, age 4, and Creed, age 1, with her ex-husband, Chris Lopez, and an 8-year-old son, Lincoln, with her ex-husband, Javi Marroquin. Joking aside, the reality star had a difficult time leaving the MTV program. After 11 years on the franchise, she recently spoke candidly about the bravery it required to leave the show. In response to a fan's inquiry last month, the young mother said whether or not she missed Teen Mom on an episode of her Barely Famous podcast. "I'm incredibly grateful for the chance. To be honest," Kailyn answered, "I think it was a really unique experience that a lot of people don't have, and so I'm very thankful, but I also don't necessarily miss it." She went on to say that Chelsea Hauska, 30, a fellow Teen Mom 2 alum, persuaded her to depart. "What's crazy is that I was talking to Chelsea Hauska for probably 2 years since she had the courage to leave and kind of decide that it was time for her to move on, and I also felt the same way, but I was so scared," Kailyn said. "When I've only known it when I was 16 years old, I was really afraid. I thus took a few months off from filmmaking before picking it back up. I was afraid of my finances." Despite how her departure may have appeared on television, Kailyn clarified that she has no ill will towards the network. To respond to the query, "Do I overlook it? No, but not in that sense. If that makes sense, I'm not upset about it, but I also don't really miss it. I have no hard feelings at all, even though it seems like it ended on the show," she said. That wasn't how it ended up being, and I received multiple calls from MTV producers asking if I wanted to be involved in additional projects. I don't miss it, but I don't mean that in a rude way at all. It was long rumored by fans that Kailyn was getting ready to depart the program. She frequently skipped filming because she preferred to keep most of the drama in her life off screen.